Sheila Xu sits in the cockpit of a small aircraft, wearing a headset and holding a control stick. Cut to Sheila sitting in an MIT building and signing. Text, Sheila Xu 14.
My name is Sheila, and this is how you say my name in sign language. I graduated in 2014 from Course 12 in STS, which is a joint degree in science and humanities.
Text, for most of her life, Sheila Xu 14 had not considered becoming a pilot. Cut back to Sheila sitting in the small aircraft.
Growing up, I never saw a deaf pilot. I didn't have anyone in my life who was a pilot.
Text, it was after she met a pilot who was deaf that she realized this path was a possibility for her. She moves the control stick in the aircraft as she flies over the flat green fields.
I will admit, initially I was nervous at the thought of flying a plane, but I knew it was important for me to really push myself. One lesson I learned at MIT was that it was okay to fail as long as you continued to try.
Text, in 2021, Xu was able to get her sport pilot license through Able Flight, a flight training program for people with disabilities.
I attended an intensive 6-week training where we were flying twice a day without any days off. This training experience paralleled my MIT experience, where studying often felt like I was drinking from a fire hose. I worked with a certified flight instructor, a CFI. Normally, at this stage of pilot training, the instructor sits behind the student. However, in my case, I must be able to see someone's face in order to communicate. So instead, my instructor and I sat side by side. This way, I could see my instructor's face and put together what she's saying with what I could hear while using my cochlear implant and using a headset that was plugged into the instrument panel.
The instructor sits next to Sheila in the plane.
The first time I flew, it's important to remember that these are tiny 2-seater planes. So I crawled into the cozy cockpit, buckled myself in, checked all of the controls, and went for takeoff.
In the plane, Sheila looks at the instrument panel.
As we ascended further into the sky, I remember looking through the big glass pane windows in awe. Once we landed, my instructor asked how I felt about my first flight. My immediate response was, "Let's go again."
She laughs. Text, in 2022, Xu was selected to conduct research on a zero-gravity flight with Astro Access, a non-profit focused on making space exploration accessible to people with disabilities. Sheila with a group in flight suits next to her plane. Text, interview with Xu before zero-gravity flight in 2022.
I am one of 16 ambassadors who will fly on the zero-gravity flight. I'm a member of the deaf crew. During the flight, our crew will run 4 experiments. I'm very excited about this opportunity. I've never experienced zero gravity before.
The group stands next to the plane.
Do I see myself as an advocate for the deaf community? Absolutely. I don't think a lot of us within the deaf community have the choice not to be an advocate. The deaf community, myself included, has to advocate for ourselves in order to receive the access we need. There are still people who have an idea of what they think it means to be a deaf person. I want to challenge those stereotypes and change their perceptions of deaf people.
Sheila wears her flight suit and stands next to the plane.
If we have more deaf role models out there, that means we can show people what is possible. And maybe they'll see that and think, "Oh, I never thought I could do that, but I can."
Text, this spring, Xu is completing concurrent graduate degrees at the Harvard Kennedy School and the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania. Animated wordmark, MIT Alumni. Credits, MIT Alumni. Video by Brielle Dungs. Additional video footage courtesy of Sheila Xu 14. ASL interpretation and voiceover, Heather Hansen. alum.mit.edu. More alumni stories.